There's one really big block that I see women having to navigate time and time again when they leave a corporate career to start an online business. So, if you are working in corporate right now, or maybe you've just left your corporate role and you want to start up an online business as a coach, a consultant, a mentor, you want to sell your services, yeah? You want to package up your expertise and be able to sell that effortlessly so that you can replace that corporate salary, command your own price, create freedom in your life, and build a real sustainable business. This video is absolutely going to help you because, well, I had to navigate this block the hard way. It took me longer to create success than I want it to take you. So I'm going to tell you all about this block and give you some tips around how to navigate your way around it, through it, over it, whichever way you get there. I know what I'm about to share with you is going to be really, really valuable. Okay, so what is this block and why does it affect so many women? And just to give you a little bit of context, I have supported over 9,000 women. So this isn't something that I've seen happen to just a handful of women. I've seen this time and time again. I've been running my business for 9 years now. I'm very experienced at what I do. And I have, like I say, helped over 9,000 women to start a coaching business, to grow a coaching business, and to scale all the way to 50K months, 100K months. I've just launched a mastermind helping women hit their first million. And I know that you're a super successful woman. And if there's a shortcut, you're going to want to know about it. Okay. So let's get into what this block is. The block is purely and simply the fact that what happens in corporate to make you successful is not what happens online to make you successful. The rules are different. The big block is that you think like a corporate woman. And of course, you think like a corporate woman. You've been trained to think like a corporate woman. You're ambitious, a high flyer. You may have come from a high level leadership role. You may have been in a C-suite role, a director. And I totally relate to where you're at because that's my journey too. I was in corporate for 17 years. I went from sales admin to UK sales director. I went from having a relatively small target and a handful of customers to having 13,500 customers, a target of 100 million a year, and a team of 57 staff. So you can see my journey may be very similar to the journey that you're on right now. So let me share my experience and then you can take some notes and decide what you want to do to avoid this block affecting you. So the block is that what worked in corporate won't work to build you an online business. The things that you use to create success in your corporate career are very different to the things that you need to create success in your entrepreneurial career. Okay. Now, let me just tell you what I mean by that, right? When we're in corporate, you kind of know the rules, right? You see people climb the ladder, rise through the ranks, get promoted, get new jobs created, new departments created. You know the rules in the corporate business that you're in, right? You know what their mission statement is. You know their vision. You know the shared values. You know how the company runs. And if you've come from a leadership role, you know that better than most. And yet then when you start your entrepreneurial journey, you start in your own business, all the rules have changed because they're your rules. And so what happened for me is I came out of corporate where I had the support of a team, the support of a leader. I had very clear roles, a very clear mission and vision and values. Everything was very, very clear. I knew what was what. I knew what was expected of me. I knew how to create success for me and my team. And then when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I was like, oh, I get to write the strategy. I get to write the mission statement. I get to create the values. I then get to live the values. I get to hire based on my values. I get to set boundaries. I get to manage my calendar. I get to do it all. And this is a gorgeous thing, right? This is a beautiful, beautiful journey that you're on, that you've just come from corporate where you've had everything dictated by other people. And now here you are in your entrepreneurial journey, just at the start of it, thinking, okay, well, these are all my rules. It's all my strategy. Where do I even begin? Now, because you're a high flyer, I'm guessing that you're a very ambitious woman, a very creative woman, a very successful woman, right? You know how to create success. Yet when you start your online business, it feels like you're starting again. And so this big block that I'm talking about is more of a mindset block, because the reality is you are a successful woman, you know how to create success, but you don't feel like it. I didn't feel like it. I somehow lost my confidence. I somehow lost my inner faith that I knew what to do. I lost that self belief that had me so firm in what I stood for in my corporate career. And yet, when I was building my own business from the beginning, I was like, oh, do I even know what to do? There was a little bit of imposter syndrome. I'd see other women who seemed to have the same skills and background as me, and it would derail me and make me compare myself to them. And that would then lead to self-doubt and feelings of, low self-worth, low self-belief. And I don't want you to go into that same dip that I went into. Okay. So, why does this happen? Well, it's because you're a high level woman. Okay. I call it whore syndrome, which my clients think is hilarious. Now, of course, I'm not calling you a whore. I would never be so bold. But what I mean is high achieving woman, HAW, high achieving woman. That is what you are, okay? That is what you are. And it's a good thing. It's the reason that you've been as successful as what you've been so far. But it will also be the reason why you could suffer the same, effect that I had where my self-belief took a little bit of a nosedive, okay? So I want you to think about the role that you've just come from in corporate, where you had clear goals, a clear vision, you knew exactly what was expected of you. I want you to get into that headspace in your own business and ask yourself, where am I going? What do I really want in this business? And you might think, but Rach, it's so early days. I don't even know what I want. But just humor me for a minute, okay? Start by setting yourself an income goal. How much money do you want your business to make each month? Get really clear on that. Is it 5K? Is it 10K? Is it maybe a little bit, you're setting your sights a bit lower than that? It doesn't matter what the number is, okay? 3K, 5K, 10K, 20K, pick a number. The only person it has to have meaning for is you. So get really clear on how much money you want to make. And the other thing I want you to get really clear on is how you want to spend your time. And so many women entrepreneurs overlook this. And, it may make a difference whether or not you've got kids, you've got a family, you've got people to support. Maybe you've got aging parents, they need looking after. The things that are taking your time, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are getting clear on your capacity. How much time a day, a week, a month, a quarter do you want to dedicate to your business? Because what needs to be in alignment is the money that you want to make, the hours that you've got available in order to make that money and deliver the services that you want to deliver. So I want you to just make sure that there is alignment, okay? So what I mean by that is, let's just say you want to make 10K a month and you want to sell to 10 clients a month at £1,000 each. And the time that's wrapped up in the delivery of what those 10 clients would expect from you adds up to more hours that you want to give to your business, then you've got a problem. You've either got a pricing problem, you need to price higher so that you have to sell to less clients and therefore deliver using less hours, or there's something about that strategy that needs to change. The other thing I want you to think about is the fact that in your corporate career, you had all these resources available to you. And I really struggled with this. You probably had a team. You probably had a marketing budget or somebody generating leads for you. You may have had a sales team, somebody actually getting the conversion for you, actually bringing in the money. You may have had a PA, somebody doing the admin for you, somebody managing your calendar. You probably had an operations team that would get into systems and process for you. You had all these resources around you. You had an endless budget. Well, maybe not endless, but you had a budget. And so when you start in your online business and you are literally every role, you are the administrator, the marketing team, the sales team, the operations team, the HR team, you are everything. And that feels like a real struggle, okay? So I want to just help you to start to really think about what the foundations are of your business. So set the income goal, think about what capacity you've got to give. How much time do you want to spend delivering? How much time do you want to allocate to sales and marketing? My advice would be roughly 50-50. Like spend half of your available working week delivering and half of your working week on sales and marketing. Sales and marketing is the lifeblood of your business. And if you don't nail that, you won't get the clients to deliver to. So I would definitely recommend when you're starting out longer, further into your journey, it won't need to be 50-50, but in the beginning, I would recommend 50-50. And then I want you to think about other parts of your plan, like what is the offer that you're going to sell? How much are you going to price that offer for? What is it you want to be known for? What is it that you're an expert in? What's your personal brand going to be? Yeah, like when people are talking about you and you're not there in the room, what do you want them to be saying? Yeah, like I know what people say about me. They call me the online sales queen. If I wasn't there and somebody said, "So what does Rach do?" They would say she helps you with your sales. She's a business mentor that focuses on sales. She helps women make money. That's what I know that they would say about me. But I've had 9 years to curate that personal brand, and you're just at the starting point, and I don't want you to miss this part of it because it's vital. So I want you to think about, what do you want to be known for? What do you want people to say about you? Think about how you're going to introduce yourself. Think about how you're going to write your Instagram bio, your LinkedIn description. What do you want people to see when they first see you, hear about you, get to see your offers? What do you want them to feel? Okay. From there, I want you to then think about your sales and your marketing. What are your key content pillars going to be? Yeah, so if you've got an offer that delivers a particular result, your personal brand needs to also be in alignment with that particular result. And therefore, your content needs to also talk about that particular result. And my advice would be that you start to share content that shows that you're an expert in generating that particular result, but also that you're an expert in helping people become aware that they even have the problem that that result is the solution for, that your offer is even in need by them, helping people to realize that they have blind spots, helping people to see that there is another way other than the current reality that they're experiencing. You want to be known as that expert, that full 360 expert, the person that can help you notice that you have a particular problem, get to the root cause of why that problem exists for you, and most importantly, help you navigate out of that problem towards the solution. Okay. So, yes, you've got to have your money goal. Yes, you've got to have your capacity goal. You've also got to think about your sales and marketing, how much time you're going to spend on that. You need to think about your personal brand. You need to think about your content and how you're going to be viewed from the outside looking in. Because while you've been in corporate, you've been very protected. And it took me a while to realize this, but in my corporate career, I very much felt like I lived in a bubble. I didn't really know that there was a world outside. I didn't even know about LinkedIn until I came out of corporate. And then I was like, oh, people are networking on this platform. I better get involved in that. So I want you to really think about how you want to be seen from the outside looking in. Okay. The other thing I want you to think about, as well as your content and how you look from the outside looking in, is networking. Who do you need to meet? Who do you need to hang out with? Who are you going to have as your support system? We all need a support system. And maybe at the beginning of your business, you haven't got the cash to invest in a coach or a mentor. And that's okay. But you absolutely must seek out some business besties, some people that you can hang out with, some people that you can bounce ideas around with. If you can afford to hire yourself a coach from the get-go, do it, because it will speed you up no end. But if you can't stretch to that, then that's okay too. But could you get inside somebody's membership? Maybe a low investment container. Reach out to me. I have a container with about 50 women in who are all very much like you at the stage that you're at. I would love to have you come join our, it's called a sales accelerator, where we help you to accelerate your sales success. And we do it in the most gorgeous community. So reach out to me, like ask me about my spaces. I will happily tell you about them if you feel that you're ready to join a coaching space. If you're not, though, just try and find some women who are like you, people that you can share energy with, have coffee with, just check in with on the journey that you're on. Because trust me, life as an online business owner, if you don't have business besties and women around you, it gets pretty lonely. So make sure that you hang out in spaces where you find women like you. I want you to think about how you can get unapologetically visible, how you can get the confidence to do things like I'm doing now, like get on video. Your audience, your community, your business besties, the people around you, they need to learn about you. They need to experience your energy. They need to get a feel for what you teach and how you teach it and how you bring your expertise to them. And the more you can get on video to do that, the better. In fact, I don't mind sharing with you, about 90% of the women who come and work with me tell me it's my energy that brought them to me. Yes, they can see that I've developed strategies. Yes, they can see I've got proven frameworks. They can see a whole list of my client successes and all my client wins. They can see that clients come to work with me and 3 months later send me a message saying they've made 55K. That was a recent message I had. So I share things like that, and that gives them the confidence that I do help to get results, but it's the energy that people really want to feel from you, and they can't feel the energy if you're not getting on video. Okay, so brace yourself for navigating video. Trust me, I hated video. I was absolutely petrified of getting on video. I wasn't a natural at it by any means. I'm still not that good at it now, but I'm here, I'm doing it. I have just overcome the fear. I hit the record button and now I just speak. And the more that you can do that, the better you will get, I promise. Okay. Something else I want you to think about is building team. Like maybe again, right now it's too soon to build team, but start to develop processes, start to develop practices that you know that you can actually delegate to somebody else further down the line. Now, one of the things that I see a lot of corporate women do is hire a social media manager too soon, hire a content manager too soon. If you want to hire a VA, great. Get them to help you with organization, but don't get anybody to help you with sales and marketing until you know how to do your own. Nobody's going to be able to message you and your offer better than you right now, okay? And if somebody is trying to message an offer that you are trying to sell, but you haven't got really clear on the offer, then they're going to struggle and you're going to end up throwing money down the drain. You really are going to waste money. So don't hire anybody on sales and marketing until you know exactly what you're selling, exactly how you're selling it, and that you have been able to master it yourself. And I know that that sounds like I'm holding you back and making you do it the hard way, but trust me, if you hire somebody too soon, you'll waste money and they will fail. They won't be able to sell you because you can't sell yourself. Okay, so please bear that in mind as well. Another really big success factor for you is being able to tell stories, being able to share your own story. Now, what I would recommend that you do from this point that you're in now is just take an hour or two, sit down with a big sheet of paper, reflect back on your career to date. Okay, so however long you've been in your corporate job and maybe a corporate job before that, I want you to sit down and really think about what are the big milestones that you've worked through? What are the really big moments in your career? Maybe you've won an award and that felt amazing. Maybe you got sidelined for a promotion and that felt terrible. Yeah, so like think about your emotions. What I like to do is plot this on a little graph where like above the line you've got all the positive emotions and below the line you've got all the things that felt hard, so that when you're then telling your story to your community, to your clients, you'll be able to say, I've had 3 pivotal moments in my career so far. There was the time when this happened, there was the time when this happened, and then there was the time that this happened. I want you to get really clear on your story, because just like I said about your energy, your story is key. People will relate to you and respond to you based on whether or not they feel like you're like them, whether they feel similar to you in some way, whether they feel that you could empathize with them, whether they resonate with who you are, your values, yeah, your energy. So get really clear on your story to date, and Really ask yourself what you're comfortable sharing and maybe what you're not comfortable sharing. Maybe there's things from your past that you don't want to share yet, and that's okay. I'm not telling you that you have to, but just have some parts of your story that you can piece together so that when people say, how did you become an expert at this? You can say, well, let me tell you. And then you can tell them your story. So get really clear on what the big moments were, the big milestone moments in your journey. And it'll really help you with your marketing and your storytelling. It'll help you when you're delivering a presentation or a masterclass and you want to give people a real glimpse into your life so far. And the final thing I want to share with you in this video is I want you to get really, really grounded in your expertise. I want you to get really, really solid and confident at sharing what you're good at. And the reason I'm inviting you to do this is because as women, we're taught to play small. And we don't realize that we're taught to play small at the time. We don't realize that there's parts of our education, parts of our upbringing, parts of the way that our parents, no shade, no disrespect to them, but parts of the way that we are brought up and taught to think and behave as women hasn't helped us to take center stage. It's taught us to play small, to be a good girl, to be humble, to not brag, to not boast, to not say, yeah, I'm really good at that, to not say, I can help you with that. That's my genius. We've been taught to hang back, to not boast. And what I want to get you to do is get really, really grounded in who you are, how credible you are, and what you are amazing at, so that you are never in any doubt whether or not you should be helping somebody to solve that particular problem. Yeah, we don't want to be out solving problems that we're not an expert in. We want to stay very grounded in your particular area of expertise. And I want you to practice, even look in the mirror and introduce yourself. Like, so I would, if it was me, I would say, hi, I'm Rach, and I am a genius at sales. I am amazing at helping women to grow their online business. I am an expert in building a funnel so that you can make sales on repeat. What would you be able to say in the mirror without sniggering and laughing and feeling all salesy and icky? What would you be able to say in the mirror about your genius, about your area of expertise? Would you be able to stand on stage with a microphone, with a megaphone even, and blast it to the room? I am a genius at this. This is the sweet spot of how I add value to my clients. This is what my clients reflect back to me is the thing that I help them with the most. When you listen to what your clients reflect back to you, you can get some absolute gems for your marketing. My clients are always reflecting back to me. They love the fact that I make things feel simple and easy. They love the way that I teach. They love the way that I break things down so that they can easily implement it. They love the way that I am their business mentor and a business bestie at the same time. They love the fact that I'm fun. They love the fact that I have such an abundance mindset. I will not be told that something cannot be done or shouldn't be done. I always think everything is possible and that there is always a way. These are just some of the things that my clients have reflected back to me, and not necessarily things that I would ever have been aware of myself. So keep your ears out for what your customers are saying to you. What did they tell you is the genius thing about you that attracted them to you? Okay. And I know that when you get really grounded in your expertise, that will help your sales and marketing strategy to fly. Yeah, your sales and marketing strategy cannot be successful while you are being all bashful and humble about what you're good at. Okay. And I want your sales and marketing strategy to absolutely skyrocket your results. So let's stop being humble, start behaving like a leader, start behaving like an authority. And that means getting really grounded in what you're an expert in. Okay. Now, all of these things are going to help you to create success in your online business. But there's one more thing that I would recommend that you do so that you really do have a proven pathway to follow. And that is to go and get access to my 7-step sales system. This is a sales system that I pulled together once I'd hit my first 200K, and I reflected back on the journey and pulled together all of the things that gave me the fastest and the easiest success. So I dropped out all the things that didn't work, dropped out all the things that took me too long, and pulled together a 7-step system, which I now train out to all of my clients to help you to create online success. Okay. I call it my online sales queen 7-step growth system. And it's a completely free training. There is no cost at all. I want you to have it because I know that once you've got a pathway to follow, that executing and implementing these steps will become so much easier for you. Okay. So I've just given you loads of stuff in this video, but there's just one more video that you need to watch. It's, I think, about 20 minutes long. It's not a long video, but I definitely recommend that you go grab it. I will drop the link for it below this video for you. Make sure that you dive in there. It's instant access, so you can tap the link now so that you know that you've got it, and then you can watch it at a time that's convenient for you. And I definitely recommend that you watch it with a notepad and pen as well. There's loads in there, but because it's instant access, you're going to be able to have lifetime access to it. So yeah, click the link below this video, get the 7-step growth system. That is really going to help you. And as I've said to you in previous videos, my DMs are open for you, okay? If you are a woman coming out of corporate and you have hit a bump in the road, or you just want to accelerate your journey, my DMs are open, okay? I've been exactly where you are. I get those bumps in the road. I've jumped across them myself, and I want to help you to do the same. So drop me a DM on Instagram. My handle is @Howourth. We can have a chat over there. And yeah, I'm so glad that you've been here watching this video. This video was actually a series of 3. So if you haven't found the other 2 videos, go search them out. They will be here on my platform for you. And obviously, if you can't find the link and you want it, just again, drop me a DM, and me or my team will be there to support you.